the east shore of Lake Tahoe. One of my absolute favorite places to be. It doesn't matter what time of the year. It is currently February. We're obviously having a drought year as of this point in time. We could end up with a miracle March, but it is very beautiful weather, feels like summer. I am currently down on Chimney Beach, so let me give you a little background of the East Shore. So the East Shore starts at the west end. To me, it starts at the east end of Lakeshore Boulevard in Incline Village, or at the Tunnel Creek Cafe, which is also the parking area to go up to Monkey Rock. It is an absolutely gorgeous area. They just put in a brand new bike path there. It's about 2.5, 3 miles that you can walk or ride your bike on the bike path down to Sand Harbor and back. It goes past Hidden Beach. There really aren't a whole lot of homes on the East Shore, but it goes from that end of Incline Village all the way down to probably the junction of 50 for me, is kind of the end of the East Shore for me, and then it enters into South Lake Tahoe. Starting off at Incline Village, you first go down and you have Sand Harbor, like I said, about 2.5 miles south on the East Shore from Incline Village. After that, there's a couple of little hidden beaches, one right before the Thunderbird Lodge with a small little parking pullout. It's about a 1/4 mile to walk down to, but it's your own private beach. There's actually 2 there if you know how to get there. And then from there, you do have the Thunderbird Lodge, which is super famous, an amazing tour. I highly recommend it if you've never taken a tour of the Thunderbird Lodge. It dates way back to the days of Marilyn Monroe and the Brat Pack and all of that, and very, very cool property tour. The gentleman that used to own the property used to drive around in his convertible with a lion named Leo. And he had elephants and a whole lot of other animals on the property. So highly recommend the tour. It's very, very cool. Then as you travel a little bit further down, you come to a parking pullout on your right, which happens to be the Chimney Beach Trail. Now this trail is amazing for so many reasons. So from the parking area, you can hike down the steep little area, this steep little trail, semi-steep trail, which then brings you down to Chimney Beach. And then from Chimney Beach, you can follow a single path all the way down to Boulders Beach, Whale Beach. There is just so much going on, and there's small little alcoves along the way. Another spot that a lot of people like to go to is called Secret Cove. Secret Cove is along with a couple of other beaches around the East Shore, is a clothing optional beach. So don't be surprised if you see some people in the buff sunning themselves or paddleboarding or kayaking. All of these beaches are accessible via boat or definitely hiking trail. I've seen a lot of people hike down to these beaches with full coolers and paddle boards and everything else. More power to you. It's great going downhill to get there. I will say that when you are heading back up, you're going to want to take a nice dip in the lake before you hike back up, because the hill could be a bit much. So as I said, from the parking lot, there is on-street parking. However, it is limited. And you will have to hike a little ways. Just above Secret Cove, there is another stretch of on-street parking. It's on the shoulder, and there's a couple of staircases. I say that slightly. Staircases, some wooden steps that have been carved into the side of the hill that you can hike down. Otherwise, you're going to have to go straight down, and it's quite a good elevation to get down to those. There are numerous spots along the East Shore. This gets super crowded over the summer. It is highly desirable. Sand Harbor, you now need a reservation prior to going there, so you can't just show up with all of your stuff and think you're going to get a spot for the day. Tahoe has just blown up too much, and that's not an option anymore. But as far as on-street parking, if you do decide to park on-street, there are numerous signs all around that say no parking, tow zone. They will ticket you, they will tow you. I've driven back up the street and the police have come by and they'll write tow in big letters across your windshield or across your side windows. And if you don't come back from the beach, you might come back with your vehicle gone. So don't risk it. Either find the parking lot spaces are first come, first serve. So every once in a while you will get people that are rotating in and out. There are a couple of other pull-offs, scenic viewpoints that are a little bit north of here. If you keep going down, there's other hiking trails down to historic sites like Skunk Harbor and a handful of others. But this is hands down one of my absolute favorite beaches. Why do they call it Chimney Beach? I will show you. There are some people over there right now, but right behind me, I don't know if you can see it. It's actually behind a tree right there. So I'm gonna move over a little bit. But right behind this tree right here is actually a chimney stack. There's an old chimney fireplace that is out here on the beach. So that is what makes Chimney Beach, Chimney Beach. Back in the day when I first moved here, they used to have a ton of parties. Boom Boom Lagoon used to take place there. It's just a gorgeous beach. East Shore is well known for their sandy beaches. As you move up and down, there are tons of little nooks that you can go out. Definitely test the waters before you just go jumping off of rocks. The lake clarity is very clear, and you can definitely get yourself in trouble thinking that the water is a lot deeper than it really is. So go out and make sure before you go jumping off of anything that it is actually safe for you to do. But anyway, coming down to Chimney Beach, it is just shy of a half a mile hike down to Chimney Beach. You make your way down and then you cut over a little river stream. But it's a gorgeous area out here. It's one of my favorites. Like I said, it's also the start of that single track that will take you all the way down. We'll make our way down to Secret Cove and a couple of the other beaches in a little while. But yeah, I just wanted to touch in, and today is absolutely stunning. I mean, the lake is so calm. There's so many rocks. This, hands down, on East Shore has always been my favorite place. Days that I used to work long hours, no matter what, you have sun till the end of the day. It's a great spot to pop down to for sunset with the dog. Bring a cocktail of your choice, hang out, watch sunset. Sand Harbor, another amazing spot for sunset. Also a really great spot if you are into live music or Shakespeare. Check out the Shakespeare Festival in the summer. You cannot get a better backdrop for music or the arts than you do in Sand Harbor. Sand Harbor is also another really great spot. They have a ramada there for weddings. They have tons of little nature tours. You can walk around and read all of the little kiosks and learn a lot more about the history. What else can I tell you about the East Shore other than I absolutely love it here? This has been my go-to for 20 years. Since I pulled into Tahoe, it's been my place to kind of come down and just relax, take some swims. The waters are normally a lot calmer. Your prevailing winds for Tahoe are normally out of the southwest, so the East Shore is a lot quieter. Normally the waters are a lot stiller. There's also the West Shore compared to the East Shore. The West Shore has like Hurricane Bay. It has a lot of restaurants on it. It is jam-packed with houses from Tahoe City all the way down to Meeks Bay. So you have a lot more people, you have a lot more activity, more buoy fields. Like I said, the East Shore, you're going from Incline Village, and then really you're not hitting another spot until you get to about Zephyr Cove or Glenbrook. That is where you start to pick up population again. So the bulk of the East Shore is just full of hiking trails on the east side of the road and just unlimited beaches on the west side of the road. So if you're interested in more information about the East Shore or any other spots in Tahoe, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. I'm gonna try and get out more videos and explore more of the areas that people love to go to. But like I said, this is an absolute locals favorite. Everybody knows about it. It's the word has gotten out, and just plan ahead. People will come down and get their beach spots at 7 or 8 in the morning, so it does get very, very busy in the summer. but the winters and the off seasons are an absolutely amazing time. I mean, it's just the dogs and I out here today. Over where the chimney actually is, there is another couple with their dogs, so I'm giving them a little space today. But it's just absolutely hands down one of my most beautiful spots. And before we go, I'm just gonna give you a good little pan across the way we are looking at. So we're gonna be walking down behind me and down around to there and coming back. This is Desolation Wilderness that has the snow caps on it. And then as we come up a little bit farther, right about here, you're getting into Homewood Ski Resort. And then as you go up even more, we're getting into Palisades and Alpine Meadows. So absolutely incredible. Today is hands down amazing. Oh, whenever you do come to the beaches or you come anywhere, all of the rocks here. So Tahoe is really well known for its granite, and these are a ton of granite boulders. Over the course, the lake never freezes over because it is way too deep. But these rocks do shift and move over time just from the waves and from the winter and everything else. So it is really cool to kind of watch and see how the rocks shift over time. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Kristen Pepin, Lake Tahoe local transplant. And I have called this home for 20 years, and I hope to share more with you. If you feel up to it, like and subscribe, and also feel free to comment your favorite place at Lake Tahoe, and we'll get you out some more videos. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Cheers.